Welcome back to the channel. If you've been following this channel for a while, you might have been wondering where I am. Don't worry, I am still here. Actually, every summer since I've started this YouTube channel, I've actually taken the summer off. Just in the past, I had created enough content to kind of like pre-schedule it through the summer so that there was always something still being released. But I've actually always taken the summer off from YouTube. It's a little hard for me to do YouTube during the summer. My kids are home. Like I don't have a particularly dedicated space separate from things. So there's just so much to do during the summer. So I've never really prioritized doing YouTube during the summer. So I'm not gone. I'm still here. I'm still going to be doing stuff now the kids started school back up. So I just wanted to make a little video, share with you what I've been doing this summer with sports cards, and then kind of kick off back into the season of making YouTube videos again. So let's get into this. I'll share with you what I've been doing over the past couple of months. All right, so I have been buying a number of cards, both for reselling and for the PC. I'm going to go through a box of cards that are my most recent pickups in this video, which will be a lot of fun. But I thought I'd first share some of the bigger things that I've been doing. One of the things that I did at the beginning of the summer, because we were wanting to do, we haven't finished this or even really gone much further than the first step of the process of kind of renovating my garage to turn it into kind of an office space, card room, YouTube room, music recording space, like multiple kind of function space. But we've only just begun that process. But one of the steps this summer that required of me is really clearing out a lot of my card space, because I was using a corner in the garage I'd kind of set up as the space for both organizing my cards, having a little shipping station for things that were going to be sold on eBay, like this sort of thing. But it was very difficult to kind of move forward with planning things for the garage with that taking up like a quarter of the garage space. We don't park our cars in the garage. We're just using it as storage and card space. But it's not very well set up for a long term. It's kind of ugly out there. It's dark out there. The temperature regulation is enough to make sure that the cards don't get damaged, but it's not enough to really like be consistently comfortable out there. So I've been wanting to fix up that space. So this summer, I didn't have a whole lot of free time. We had some different travel. We actually went on a cruise to Alaska for a while, which was amazing. Alaska is my new favorite place in the world. And also, like, my wife was doing a lot of online courses. She was doing a lot of summer coursework this summer. So she was quite busy. So I was doing a lot of child stuff with the kids. So in general, I was very busy. So in my process of cleaning up that corner, what I decided to do is I basically this summer closed down my eBay store as well, because I was closing down my area where I was doing all the shipping and organizing my cards for my eBay store. So I basically entirely closed down my eBay store and sent my entire eBay store to ComC. And stuff has been gradually selling on there. It takes a while once you send something into ComC. It can take a while for it to be uploaded onto your system. So a lot of the stuff is still not there yet. The more expensive stuff was because I put it on the Elite instead of the Standard, which means it gets uploaded in like 2 weeks instead of 4 months. But some stuff I didn't care if it was, I was okay with doing the 4 months, because it was also, most of my cards are basketball cards. So it's like, there's not as much basketball going on right now anyway. So if it takes a while before it gets uploaded to the system, maybe by the time it's on ComC, it's getting to be basketball season, and that's probably a better time to sell anyway. So I was fine with doing that. And I think moving forward, I'll probably often do that, actually. After the NBA season is over, since I have a lot of basketball cards, send off my eBay store to ComC and start over. In the future, I won't have to put it on pause, my eBay store on pause. Right now, I was just trying to clear up the space as well. So in the future, I won't have to do that. But I think this is a good pattern, because that way I'm not holding on to stale inventory for too long. And for a little while, I had very few cards, except for my personal collection stuff. Of course, I still have that. But even that, I had to kind of find a temporary solution just to store it, trying to get out of some of the spaces I had been using before, reorganizing some of my closet space and stuff like that to be able to store things a little bit better. Nothing I would want to share with anybody yet, because it's still like in the middle of messiness. It's just kind of like getting out of the way so I can like gradually build a better system. It's taken a lot longer. The process of just cleaning and clearing the garage has taken me like all of the free time I had during the summer, because I don't have that much free time. So it has taken a long time. Originally I was going to do a lot of that DIY type stuff out in the garage, but I'm thinking we might end up hiring a contractor or something, just because the amount of time it takes is just is so massive. I'm not that handy of a person in general. I can do the basics and I can learn a lot on YouTube, but the amount of time that whole process takes is so significant. And besides my regular job, I have a lot of other things going on in the family, and just in general, I'm very busy. In fact, these last few weeks in particular have been some of the busiest of my life. My job, I work from home, and I work 40 hours. I could keep track, and this week I'm way over the 40 hours because there's so much going on. So I was like, okay, I have so much I could be doing right now, but I want to make a YouTube video again. I missed this, so let's get back into this again. Let me share with you a little bit about the other things I've been doing this summer with cards. I can pull out some of the cards I've been buying, and some of them I got from just like opening some boxes that I've had here and there. So that's basically been my engagement with the hobby, sending stuff off to ComC, and then buying a few things, you know, that I'm gonna gradually, some of them keep, some of them sell. So let's go through some of this, and I'll share just some of why I'm doing certain things. So these couple of cards I bought from a sports card shop. It's an Alonzo Mourning auto and a Dominique Wilkins auto. There's a lot of glare on there, but hopefully you can see it okay. I have a collection of kind of lower cost Hall of Fame basketball player autographs. So $20 for a Dominique Wilkins auto. It just seems like a good deal. It's numbered out to 99, Dominique Wilkins autograph. This Alonzo Mourning, it's from Topps Chrome, so it doesn't have his Heat jersey, but it still is an Alonzo Mourning autograph, and it's hard to find that for $20. So I've been buying a lot of these. That's a large part of my better cards, I guess you could say, in my PC are basketball Hall of Fame autographs. I also bought this one. I think I got it for $50. It says 60 there, but I think I got this one for 50. This is a PSA 9 silver rookie of John Morant. I bought those three together at a sports card shop. I visited a couple of sports card shops. I had a few different work-related trips that I did, all in the Pacific Northwest, Oregon and Washington. So, I've gone several times to Hoodies Collectibles in Beaverton, which maybe you've heard of because they have a really big eBay store and consignment company. But their sports card shop is my favorite in the Pacific Northwest amongst the different ones I've been to. I also had a work trip up in Bellevue, Washington, and visited a sports card shop up there. And I had another one in a couple other ones in Washington State. So I visited a few places that I hadn't been before in Tumwater, Washington, Olympia, some different places. I like doing that when I have a work trip. I try to find if there's a sports card shop that's somewhere along the route that I haven't been to yet, and try to aim to see it. Hoodies is the only one that I found so far that I'll go to again and again. Like anytime I'm going to the Portland area, I see if I can go to Hoodies because I almost always buy something there. I find that they have good deals. So those two autographs were for the PC, and this one I just thought was underpriced and would probably be able to sell for more later. Here's another one. I had bought this $10 Larry Johnson auto for the PC. I bought this one at a sports card shop in Bellevue. This was a PSA 10 rookie Scoot Henderson. I bought for $20, less than the grading fee, and it's a PSA 10. I've been actually buying up a decent amount of Scoot Henderson. I'm a fan, so I collect a lot of Blazers players. So even if for some reason he doesn't pan out, I'm okay to have a collection of his cards. But I think his cards are really undervalued right now. I think he's going to have a breakout season, so I'm good with that. This is Anthony Edwards. So a lot of these, this is a SSP type card actually, in season tournament. Some of these cards are ones I have been buying on Card Hobby. I've continued to buy on Card Hobby pretty regularly. I've been getting a number of LeBron James patch cards. So this is numbered out of 99 from Immaculate. I've been getting a lot of these. I feel like they're pretty good price. I mean, LeBron James has been in the league for so long, so he has so many patch cards, so I don't know if they'll hold their long-term value that well, but a lot of LeBron James cards feel underpriced right now, and he's going to retire soon. He's going to be an all-time great, whatever you think of him. He's a top 2, 3 all-time great no matter what. Some people might call him number 1, some people might say 2 or 3 or whatever, but he's one of the best NBA players ever lived. So I figure getting him and Curry, those are the two that I'm kind of like maybe even thinking about keeping these. This is a patch card of Curry. I'm thinking about keeping these longer term. I feel like they're both, especially the LeBron James ones. The Curry ones are actually the ones that I've sold. The Curry ones have sold a little bit more than the James ones. But I feel like they're both kind of underpriced for a patch card of an all-time great like that. I also I bought a couple of boxes of Revolution. I've always enjoyed Revolution. It's always been one of my favorite. And since there was the downtown chase this year, I decided to buy a couple of boxes. The best card I've got in the boxes I've opened is this one, Stephon Castle Prime Time. So this is a case hit card. So definitely of the Rookie of the Year. So this is worth $100+, which I made a little bit of profit on opening 2 mega boxes. Like I think I spent $100 on them, and this card's worth $120. So breaking even on opening 2 mega boxes is pretty rare. So that's a nice hit. I enjoyed that. You also got I'm not even going to show these, but this are the other cards. I haven't even put them in penny sleeves. They're like rookies or parallels or something that's probably going to go in like a $1 box, $2 box. Don't even need to go through those. Another one that was at least good enough to put in a hard shell was this Victor Wembanyama. It is second year, but it is numbered out of 99. Hardwood Legacy. Pretty cool. Let's get back into some of these other ones that I got from Card Hobby. If you're not sure what Card Hobby is, I've made a lot of videos about it. You can go and look. It's the main sports card marketplace for the domestic Chinese market, but there's various ways. There are a couple of sellers who live outside of China and you can buy their cards, or there are ways to get like overseas warehouse, like buy a whole bunch of cards in China and have them sent to you. I haven't been doing that as the overseas one as much recently, just because of the whole, you know, international trade tariff situation, like just puts everything in kind of an unknown. So I'm just like, let's wait until that's a little bit more known before I do anything. But I have been buying from some of the sellers who are based in the US. Here's another patch of Steph Curry. Almost said Stephon, since the last card was a Stephon Castle card. Another LeBron James patch card, Jersey Kings. Pretty cool. This one's really cool. Somebody's gonna love this one. Numbered out of 25. Larry Bird auto. That's awesome. This is the Galactic Parallel case hit, rookie year, NBA debut. Another patch card of LeBron James. Patch card of Steph Curry. You can see like these cards are a little bit more valuable than some of the stuff I used to show on the channel. Here's a Kareem Abdul-Jabbar auto. That one's awesome. Is that numbered? Generally, I think as my time in the hobby has gone down, my value of each card has gone up. So I'm maybe spending a similar amount of money as I was before, but just gradually on better cards. There's a Jokic auto. That one is a Luminance, numbered out of 99. Very cool card. I find that it's just, you know, the cards it really just depends on what cards I can get for a good price. And I find on Card Hobby that the prices I'm getting are better than I can get elsewhere. So I'm going to make a profit on these, even if I just sell them at comps, even if the comps don't change. This is numbered out of 75. Here's another immaculate patch of LeBron. Select patch of LeBron. This one's cool. Numbered out of 99, rookie patch auto of Cade Cunningham. Love that. I really like Cade. Numbered out of 25, patch auto, Paulo Banchero. That's from the Collegiate, the National Treasures Collegiate card, but still numbered out of 25, rookie patch auto. Pretty cool stuff. I forgot how valuable some of these were. It scares me that they're just sitting in this box. Curry patch. LeBron James patch. You can see I've been getting a lot of Curry and LeBron James patches. LeBron James numbered out of something, 75. LeBron James gold from McDonald's, numbered out of 50. Here's a Jokic numbered out of something, out of 23. Numbered out of 23. Here's a National Treasures Curry, numbered out of 15. Another LeBron James patch, numbered out of 99 from Immaculate. So a lot of those. Let's see. Oh, this is nothing. This is my daughter gave me back a bunch of Pokemon cards I had given her at one point, thinking that she might be into them, and she just doesn't care about them at all. So she just gave them back to me. I don't know their value, just a little stack of them I need to figure out at some point. This is cool. Kobe Bryant Nuggets, 199 patch. And then here's a Dan Issel patch, numbered out of 5. So again, he's an Hall of Fame player, and I do have a Hall of Fame autograph collection. And Dan Issel signs a lot. Like a lot of his autographs are really cheap. So I decided to get a slightly nicer one of his, just because you can buy $5 autos of his easily, and this was not very expensive. I bought this from Card Hobby. It still was not very expensive, but it just looks really cool as far as Dan Issel autographs might go, and only out of 5. So that's for the PC as well. So those are the cards I bought over the summer. I mean, I've probably bought a lot more on ComC as well, and I will make a video. That's the other thing I've been doing just in general, you know, as well as sending in a huge box of stuff to ComC, is I have been buying and selling on ComC regularly. You know, it's no matter what my storage need is or whatever, ComC is just a fun place for me to just get on in the evenings. You know, I'm watching a TV show and scrolling ComC. It's like my normal evening time activity once the kids are in bed, sort of thing. So at some point I'll go through. I don't want to talk about it here. I can do a screenshot and show the different things I've been buying and selling on there, and things I've been putting on live auctions and regular auctions, and how I've been using it. You know, I've been there's a few policies that have come up. You know, the live live auctions that they sell on eBay, it used to have like a 50-cent minimum fee for no matter how much a card sold for. It would take a minimum fee from each card of 50 cents, but they've raised that to like $2. So that's changed. So I don't sell $5 cards on those live auctions anymore. I try not to. Some of them might end up selling for that price anyway, but I'm trying to sell cards that are at least $10 or something like that now that there's that larger minimum fee. So that's kind of reduced the amount that I'm actually using the eBay live auctions. I will occasionally go on there to purchase something on eBay live auctions, but I don't have the patience so much. Each card, goes through really slowly, and really a lot of times there's cards I don't want. I tend to want the basketball cards, and usually if I go and check it out, it's a mixer of multiple different subjects, and so I've kind of just fallen off of following the eBay live ComC store stuff. Occasionally. This morning I was on there for like 15 minutes before I was like looking through and seeing that there's a bunch of people that put like $2, $3, $4 cards on there, and I was like, I don't want to bother wading through all of this to get to a $2 or $3 card. So that happens a lot when I get onto the eBay live. I don't know. I know a lot of people really enjoy the live streaming purchases of cards, but I don't have the patience for it. I feel like if I can put it in the background and do something else, then I forget that it's on and don't pay attention to what's selling. And if I'm just focusing on it, the cards are going through so slow, and it's just kind of boring to me, especially if it's mixed sports, and some of the sports I care about and some of the sports I care less about. So anyway, what's up for my channel? For my channel, now that the kids are back in school, I'll probably have some sort of schedule. I'm not worried as much this time around. I've kind of learned to take it a little bit easy, not worry about appeasing the algorithm lords and just making something every week just for the sake of the algorithm, and having a consistent release schedule so that there's a consistent visitor schedule coming to my videos. I've decided not to worry about that. When I release a new video, I don't get that many views anyway. Even my really good videos, I find that like if I do just the talking in front of you, freestyle talking, or if I do a really in-depth exploration that involves like hours of prep work and like a lot of video editing, it doesn't change the amount of people who are watching my videos. In fact, some of the ones that I put the most effort into are the ones that get the least amount of views. So I'm not even going to worry about it. I'm just going to take this YouTube thing fun, but I'm going to continue to release things. Probably in my next video, I will go through sharing what I've been doing at ComC with more detail, kind of going through some of my sales, going through some of my strategies that I'm using, just because that seems to be something that a lot of people are following my channel and got connected into my channel from my ComC videos. So I'll probably do that at some point. Maybe I can share a little bit about what I'm doing on Card Hobby as well. I don't share too much about Card Hobby because in some ways I feel like some of the people I'm buying things from, there's not a whole lot of buyers. So I think one of the reasons I'm getting a better deal is finding these sellers who are based in the US. So people in China are probably less likely to bid on their cards. So I think I'm getting slightly better deals. I'm pretty consistently putting in, if it's a card I want, I'm not bidding on every single card that somebody puts up, but if I'm pretty consistently putting in, 60, 65% of comps type of bids, maybe 70% of comps type of bids, and just for cards that I think are more liquid, like those ones that you were just looking at, LeBron James patch cards, Steph Curry patch cards, cards that are case hits, things like that. And I've been able to get them consistently for 65, 70% of comps, which is why that's just what I'm continuing to do, is like 1 or 2 buyers, and that's about it. That's what I've been doing all summer. So not spending a whole lot of time in the hobby with all of that actually, but that's okay. Got a busy life and this is meant to be fun. I don't want it to become super busy. So that's where things are at. I got lots. I've been watching a lot of different content on the hobby over the summer as well. At different times, podcasts on these long drives for work. I've been having over the summer almost every other week or so, like a long, sometimes a 3-hour drive, sometimes a 6 or 7 hour drive. And then round trip, so double that. So I've been listening to a lot of like sports card nonsense and some other Cards to the Moon is a podcast I've been listening to recently. Mojo Sports, Mojo Break Sports. I've been listening to their podcast a lot. So I've been listening to a lot of podcasts. So I've still kind of been aware of what the hobby's thinking about and talking about. So maybe at some point I will respond to some of the ongoing hobby conversations that are happening out there. But for now, just wanted to share with you this update. Hope everything is going well. Peace. Aloha. Adios.